Alright guys, so previously I did a video in regards to mobile homes and I sort of touched on the topic of financing, and in this video I wanted to talk about mobile home financing in more detail because there's just too much stuff to cover that I wanted to make a video just for that. So if you're thinking about purchasing a mobile home, financing is one of the things that you're going to have to take into consideration, and the very first thing that I want to tell you right off the bat is that financing a mobile home for a mortgage is much different from a regular loan. Now they're similar in a lot of different ways, but realize that one of the ways is that many of the lenders just won't do those loans. So you have to find a lender who's willing to do that type of loan, and two, find a loan officer who's willing to take on that kind of loan. Yes, it is more work. It's usually a smaller price, and for that reason, they don't want to do it, or they're charging more fees. And so that's something for you to consider. The other thing that I did want to bring up, though, are they require additional expenses in the form of inspections. Number one, the appraisal. It'll be a traditional appraisal, but oftentimes they're having to check a few more things, and that's where it can get a little bit more expensive. Also, some of these conditions aren't present or taken care of at the time of the appraisal. Sometimes the appraiser has to come back out and check on those things to make sure they were done, and that's where the additional expense costs, and that's usually another $7,500, $125, etc. And that can add up. That can add up. Again, remember, these usually are for people who are buying for the first time, and it can be expensive, right? The next inspection is that they require is a foundation inspection. Now when it comes to a regular home, they don't require that. The appraiser sort of looks at it, but that's about it. If they see something obvious, they'll mention it. But when it comes to a mobile home, they'll actually require an inspection be done by someone who is qualified to do so under their guidelines, and that usually means a structured engineer. Now they're looking for certain things that the lender's guidelines require. I will tell you those guidelines change all the time. I had a transaction where this particular property that my clients purchased had been purchased 2 years ago by that owner, and it passed with flying colors. But yet when my clients came along 2 years later, now all of a sudden it was out of compliance. And so the seller was really thrown off by it, and especially the seller's agent. And so that's just something for you to think about. The other inspection is septic. They usually require a septic inspection. This is another $125, $150 inspection that the buyer has to pay. Again, these fees are adding up. Now we're well over $500. What they're going to do is just make sure that the system is in good working condition to meet their guidelines, which is fair. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I want to make clear to you is that it's an additional expense, and that's something that most people don't think about. So when you think about mobile home financing, just realize that there's some additional fees, there's some additional inspections, and realize that if there's repairs to be done, that could cause a delay, that could cause the seller to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to go with someone else, or they could pass those costs on to you, right? They could actually turn around and say, hey, I'm going to raise the sales price, or I'm going to reduce the contributions as a seller I was going to do, because now I'm going to have to put that money into the property. So there's a lot of things for you to consider, and I just want to make you aware of them when it comes to financing a mobile home. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm not trying to talk you away from it, and I'm not speaking badly about it, because I think with the prices going up as they continue to do, I think mobile homes tend to be a nice alternative, especially because a lot of times you get a bigger lot, you have more room, you're out in a rural setting. There's a lot of pros, right? I have some clients who just purchased one and they are as happy as can be. The kids have a lot of room for them to play around in. They got a few little animals that they have on the property, so they're really excited and they're really looking forward to it. So I'm not going to try and talk you out of it. What I do want to do is educate you and inform you so that you can make a better, well-informed decision, because I feel that an educated and informed consumer makes a smarter consumer, less likely to be taken advantage of. So hopefully you found this video of value. Hopefully it helped you out. If you know anyone, or if you are looking in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you have a question about selling, buying, or just questions about real estate in general, I'd be happy to help you out however I can. Again, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Thanks so much, guys.